The way most Cambridge and IB students revise is actually making their grades worse, not just ineffective, actively counterproductive. A study published in Psychological Science in Public Interest ranked 10 learning techniques used by students worldwide. That is rereading notes, what the majority of IGCSE, IB, and AP students do every single night, ranked 9 out of 10. In this video, I am going to show you why revision fails and the exact 3 active techniques that research proves actually works. If you have exams coming up, you need to watch this before you open your notes tonight. Hello learner, I am Karishma. I have been teaching and transforming grades of Cambridge, IB and AP students for over 12 years now, and the same strategies now we have replicated with KA Preps. And early in my own academic life, I was preparing for one of the most competitive entrance exam in Asia, competing against over 1 million students for a handful of spots. I had color-coded notes, perfectly organized binders. I reread everything at least 4 times before every mock. But my scores weren't moving, not because I wasn't working hard, but because I was doing what every student around me was doing, and nobody had ever told us why it wasn't working. When I moved into facilitation in international curricula, I saw the exact pattern. Brilliant and driven students putting in 10 hours per day, walking into exams unprepared, and every single one of them was making the same mistake. So here is the specific mistake, and once I show it to you, you will never revise the same way again for your Cambridge or your IB exams. So when you reread a page of notes, your brain recognizes the information and sends a signal. What is the signal? I know this. That feeling of familiarity, that is a lie. Recognition is not the same as retrieval. Your Cambridge and IB exams do not ask you, does this look familiar? They ask you to produce answers from nothing using inquiry-based or application-based learning. Under time pressure, under exam condition. Dr. Jeffrey Karpik at Purdue University studied over 200 students. Those were who rereading as their primary methods, zero improvement between study sessions, zero. And here's what makes this worse for international curriculum students. Specifically, you are managing 8 to 10 subjects simultaneously with completely different command words, with your university profile building and looking at different mark schemes. Every hour you spend rereading as an hour, your brain spent building familiarity, not understanding. The question isn't how many hours you study, it's whether you actually know how to study effectively. 2 finding, that is all you need to understand. In 1, Dr. Henry Roediger, Washington University, published in Science Journal. 200 students, multiple subjects. Those who tested themselves instead of rereading scored 50% higher on final assessment. Same material, same time, different methods. Finding 2, Dr. Robert Bjork at UCLA. His research on what he calls desirable difficulties shows that when revision feels easy, your brain is not building strong memory. The discomfort of trying to recall something you can't immediately remember. That's not a sign you don't know it. That's your brain building the neural pathway. Easy revision is equal to weak memory. Hard revision is equal to strong memory. That is the entire reason how to study for exams changes everything. It's not about working harder, it's about working in the direction your brain is actually built for. So before I show you 3 methods, let me tell you about Ananya. Ananya came to me with a predicted 4 in IB Chem. She was putting in 3 extra hours of revision every evening, rereading, highlighting, making more notes from her notes. But when she came to us at KA Preps, we changed one thing. That is how she revised. Same content, same subject, same exam date. But her final exam, she scored a 7 and she cut her daily study time by 2 hours because she was actually building understanding and not just familiarity. And here's exactly what we did at KA Preps, which I call it as KA Preps method. So 3 techniques, all research backed, all work across Cambridge, IB and AP. Method 1 is a Feynman technique named after Nobel laureate Richard Feynman. Take any IGCSE bio topic. Let's take an example of the topic photosynthesis. Close everything, explain it out loud to an imaginary 12-year-old. No jargon, no notes, no looking. Where you hesitate, where you get vague, that's your knowledge gap. Not I haven't read it enough. It's I haven't understood it well enough to retrieve under pressure. Go back, fix only that gap, test again. Method 2. Spaced retrieval practice based on Ebbinghaus forgetting curve. Test yourself on new material after 1 day, then 3 days, and then a week. Not review, not read it, test. Close the book, write what you remember, check and repeat. Each retrieval strengthens the memory pathway, and that this is the science behind 59 spaced repetition, and it is why students using this method outperform those who don't buy over 50%. Method 3, that is interleaved practice. Instead of spending 2 hours on one Cambridge Chem topic, mix it. 20 minutes chemistry equilibrium, 20 minutes IB history causes of World War I. Back to chemistry. Dr. Doe Rohrer research shows this improves retention by 76% compared to blocked practice because your brain has to actively reconstruct context each time instead of just continuing a pattern. 3 mistakes I have seen constantly and we are fixing constantly at KA Preps. You have to fix this tonight. Is mistake number 1. I'll reread this 5 more times before the exam. Don't do that. Read once, test yourself 5 times instead. Mistake number 2. My notes looks perfect. I must know this. Beautiful notes means nothing if you can't write them from scratch on a blank page. Mistake number 3. I'll cram everything in a week before. Cramming is masked practice. Spaced retrieval beats it every single time. I had learners who come a month or a couple of months before exam at KA Preps to help with the grade transformation. But trust me, we are facilitating the right way. The execution is in their court. So it's important to start at the right time. The science isn't ambiguous on this. Now here's the summary you need to save. Dolansky's comprehensive review, the most cited study on learning techniques ever published, ranked 10 methods by effectiveness. First one, active recall. Second, spaced repetition. 9th one is highlighting, and 10th one is rereading. Most students spend 90% of the revision time on the 2 worst ranked method, 9 and 10, and then wonder why their grade doesn't reflect their effort. You don't need more revision hour, you need smarter revision science. When you take a trial class at KA Preps for a Cambridge or IB prep, this is what exactly we use for transforming your grades. Not the conventional methodology of teaching, reteaching without any strategy, just for the sake of completing the total dedicated hours. And that is the reason why my students are always able to master the process of getting top grades. Subscribe for more research-backed study strategies and watch this video next where I break down the exact exam technique formula across Cambridge IB AP marking scheme that most students never see until it's too late.